This podcast is sponsored by Relevnt, a location-based mobile network personalized by your interests. Customize your newsfeed to consolidate all the information you care about all in one place to quickly and easily find what's relevant to you. Find out what's going on in your local area and reach your community from the palm of your hand. Relevnt is available on iOS and coming soon to Android. Be the first to know with Relevnt.
What's up, everybody? It's the Poorly Edited Podcast, the show where we put a spotlight on some of the most creative talent we can find around, as good as some college kids can do.
Not very well.
I'm Chandler Davis.
My name is Patrick Lilly.
I'm Amresse Farrow.
And today we're here with Winder Hughes, and
Hey,
you're
guys.
the CEO and founder of Relevnt, right?
That would be correct. Yes, yes, indeed.
So I think it's been a long time coming, I guess, that we've done this, because we've been kind of working together for a while now, and we've talked about Relevnt a lot before on shows, and so I think it's finally we get to sit down and talk a little about Relevnt.
Yeah,
Get it straight from the
you guys met.
source.
So I met you guys through my daughter Madison, who was one of the first ones you guys
She's
had.
the first.
She was the first
Yes.
one who you interviewed
Yeah.
on your show, right? And I said, well, that's kind of cool. Like, they're trying to get some stuff going on the college scene and finding people that are interesting and creative and all that kind of stuff and bring them out. So we connected, and we've been kind of here and there, but working together during the last year, and as we've redefined and rebuilt the whole app, and now we're ready to go. So we're intersecting at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Relevnt, what is relevant in your head, in your definition? What is relevant?
Yeah, that's been the
The
3-year journey, right?
Yeah.
All right, but now we finally have it. Okay, Relevnt is a location-based social network where users join mobile communities based on interest and location. So we bring people together based upon where they are and their interest. And we think no one is doing that. So that's what it is, and that's where we're going with it.
And so the fact that it's location-based and the fact that it's based on these mutual interests that people have, that's what's setting it apart from all this other...
Yeah. So we talked about it, right? The only word that folks understand that's in front of the word network is social, right? So we have to call it a social network of some kind. Like what is Tinder? It's a dating network. It's a dating social network. What is LinkedIn? It's a business social network, right? So we're a location-based social network. But what's different is that on those mainstream ones where you follow users on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, is you connect with people through users. On Relevnt, you're connecting with people through these communities. And so these communities can be, fans, fan communities. They can be campus communities. It could be a news site, or it could be these individuals, bloggers, podcasters, and kind of whatnot. So.
You likened it to Reddit when we were talking before, and I think that's a pretty good comparison, except instead of on Reddit, I don't expect to ever meet anyone I'm talking to, because it's all it's for the internet. But this is a lot I feel like I could meet people to actually meet in real life. And I've even on Reddit, there's a Pennsylvania subreddit, but it's barely no one ever posts on it.
So why would you? How does that work? How it's weird.
So this is
nothing.
the opposite, where instead of growing and being anyone on the internet should use this is growing from this area should use it and then build upwards.
Exactly. No, that's a great analogy. So when we talk to people, we kind of say it's kind of like Yelp meets Reddit for local. So that the Yelp piece is that it tells you that it goes with you wherever you go, right? And it has kind of a portal type style to it, like what Yelp has. Except Yelp is restaurants, locksmith, and plumbers, and that's not really cool, right? So, this is a cooler thing than that, right? But kind of architecturally, I think that there are parallels. We're thinking of things the same way. You have communities, people they engage around, and it turns out, although Reddit's this international thing, right, that the community still does a pretty good job at moderating itself,
Yeah.
which is amazing, right? Because there's a lot of chat bombers and photo bombers out there, right? And it's shown that this can work.
But the difference between the other social networks and like Reddit is that the community aspect is actually working. It's actually useful and completely relevant. We've tried to write about Relevant and describe it, and you can't write or describe Relevant without actually using the word relevant a billion different times because it is the perfect way to explain it. Because so many other apps and social networks, nothing is actually relevant to you. Nothing is actually pertaining to your exact location, where you are, what you're interested in. It might have started that way, but it doesn't actually happen. And no matter how big Relevant will get, it will still always have that home feel of what is relevant to you, which is what sets it apart.
Yep, that's spelled the literal way. Relevant is spelled the cool way. Okay, so that's how we kind of bring the two together. But like also, you'll see on these apps, it's the best way to do this. It's the best way. So we say relevant is the best way to connect with what's relevant around you, wherever you are, wherever you go. That's kind of our tagline thing. So
Chandler says you have to spell it wrong to spell it right.
I love that. That's yeah.
For sure.
Well, because you also read it and you pronounce it exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, without the final vowel, right? It's not the
I
consonant.
forgot because you've been leaving it out for so long.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing that intrigues me about Relevant is the idea of it not being about, social media at its core is about making people jealous. It's a very egotistical, kind of selfish endeavor that everyone partakes in. And a lot of people lately have really not been digging that. And we've been seeing that. But Relevant takes a different approach where it's like, no, it's about community. It's about all of us. And let's do something together and all be a part of something instead of being divisive and
No doubt.
at each other's throats and all these different things. Like I think the antithesis, I think it's the climax of where social media is at right now. And I think it's the next step into what is a sustainable and healthy environment to foster online.
Yeah, if you like the Jacksonville Jaguars or deer hunting and you're engaging with folks around that, how can you possibly ever want to unfollow that if that's what you like, right? I mean, but if I follow you and you're on LinkedIn, who I thought was going to be a business person, but now you're posting lame stuff because I'm following you, right? And you're not posting stuff that really I care about, but that's what's happening there now, right? So, I mean, it's stuff that you'll keep for life based on things that you have an interest in now, and then obviously those interests can change.
And people are going to say, well, what makes Relevant different than other social platforms? And the difference is that it's inclusive instead of exclusive. It's not going to make you feel like you can't be a part of it, that you don't have enough money, that you don't have the opportunities to travel and do all these different types of things. It's going to make you feel like there are communities that everyone can join that is pertaining to them, that they can actually have a voice in. There's so many times where other social groups, it's such a saturated platform or it's such a saturated page or community that even if you can be a part of it, that doesn't mean you're actually going to have a voice or it's going to be nearly relevant. The posts are going to be relevant. But with the chat section, with the community section, it's all that last minute relevant posts, what's going on today. You can be a part of it. This is some cool stuff that we've got going on, and you can't be a part of that. Which is the difference.
All have an equal voice. I mean, if it has 100 members, each person has 1/100th of a voice. If it has 10, you have a 10th. I mean, it is equal. It's proportioned out. So that's pretty fair. Not communist, it's just fair. Not anarchist, fair. All right?
And I think that just as a tool, and then that's, I think, how I've been looking at it is as a tool of what you can achieve in terms of getting your content out there into it's not just the sea of noise that is currently ever present on any other platform. and using it as a tool of just, if you want to, no matter how hardcore you are in whatever field, if you just want to go out tonight, it's like, what's going on around you? What's cool going on? What concerts are going? Like, there's no directory or aggregator for everywhere that you can easily just figure out how to spend tonight, if you wanted to. It's a struggle. You have to go on, like, what weird community websites are strewn about.
That literally happened to us today. We're in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
We want to do something here, but we don't know
what to do.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
I wish there was a thing.
Right. So I mean, and I think that the app does need this kind of like ask a local thing, where you can just ask, because everyone will get notified. Hey, we're here at the beach. Where should we go have lunch? Like, where do we go? You get like 10 people that come in that don't want to answer that. Oh, that's fun. Okay, I should go here. I mean, you get options and you get advice and this real time stuff. So, or where to go out like tonight. Like, where's the cool happy hour, right?
Yeah.
Where's the place that has the martinis or that has the good beer? Like, where's got like the great live music? Where do I go?
And that's
you would think it'd be easy, but it's really not.
It should be. And that's the location-based nature of it too.
Yes.
Like, we're not even from Florida and we have no idea what's going on, but we flew down here and we're here, so we still have all of our stuff in Pennsylvania that we know about.
Yep.
But we're here for tonight, so it's like, oh, well, this is following me.
Yep.
And this is something I can pick up on no matter where I'm at and utilize. It's not just something for where you're based.
Yep.
We talked about how you can use those location-based services both ways. How you can know exactly what you want and go in and find it, and then the community is already set up. Or you can go in, don't know anything about exactly what you want, and then Relevnt will help you by showing you exactly what's relevant to you, what's near you, based on what it already has gathered about you.
Yes.
Both ways. And when you have your set community, like our home would be Pennsylvania, the Lehigh Valley area, we have that, but we travel, so it's going to take all of those settings, travel with us, and then since we showed interest, we went to those places when we traveled, we could still keep track of them and keep up to date with them when we go back to our home spot.
And then, there'll be things that we can add in, like, over time that has AI and just things that, that it's learning the stuff that you're doing to recommend more stuff that we think you'd like to go do. Or, hey, you really like these like nightlife sites. Here's one that's 50 miles away that's nested in Bedford, New York. It's really cool. You need to like tap into that. Next time you guys are there, it's like, go check it out. I mean, I'm just making up stuff, but or like imagine too us just having this global map. I want to see what's going on today in London or Dublin in a new way, and like the nightlife there. Like, how do you find that like right now, like on the fly, right? So you just go now. We just go to the map, tap Dublin, and it would show you kind of that same styles we had with around you. So it's like being there, and then you could like wow. And then you could say, hey, I'm flying over, man. Where's my flight deal? I'm in.
Yeah. Does have the dimension to travel where it's like there's all the brochures and stuff, but you don't really know what it's actually like once you get there.
You don't. You're like, okay, this sucks. This is like,
well,
Green Acres. I feel like
the Eiffel Tower, so I don't know what to do now.
So many times you want to find something out, and the information will be there on the internet about something going on. It will be so long ago that it had been updated.
Oh, it's like, that was 2016.
Yeah, I'm flying into the airport. I want to know what's going on that day at the airport, or that day going on in Orlando. And it'd be like, well, it just told me all the festivals that happened that were amazing 2 years ago that somebody blogged about. Like, no, that's not an option. All that outdated information.
The web's become a graveyard. I mean, there's so many dead websites out there. It's just like,
and you have to sift
spam sites. It's just, it's right. And I don't know how Google. I mean, at some point this starts to have to weigh down and start to crumble too, because it's like
I think they're running out of domain like space. That's been a recurring thing, is like, because there's like a limited amount of domains. It's not like
it's a really weird concept.
It's not like abundant resource. I don't know. It's very odd, but yeah, like that's happening right now. It's been happening for years, where it's like getting eaten away. Just taken up by all these entities that aren't even active anymore.
And you have like a lot of these like bloggers and kind of whatnot that have just shut down. I mean, like if you look for, and of course there's a way to search for a blogger within a city because that's what we want to have, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, just even if you do kind of find them, like you go to like some site, 30 of the best foodie blogs of 2018, and you get down like to 25 or 30, well, no, they're gone, because you know what? They're not getting traffic because websites are just kind of, that's the thing that's dying off too, because they're silos, right? Like your web browser isn't a local directory, it's just a bunch of things that you could bookmark.
Yeah.
So what if your browser was kind of like this, right? Where you popped it open and it was like this interconnected network of things around you. Like this is what, our kind of big dream is like it becomes the new browser, right? It's just that's what it is. But we won't be weird and creepy, okay? At least not on my watch.
But that brings up the public versus private. I mean, you can have most of everything be very public, but you can have those community chats that are private, not for inappropriate reasons, but just because you have to.
Only for inappropriate reasons. What are you talking about? It wouldn't be any fun if it was appropriate, right? That's why they're private.
I mean, you can have private chats for like the school board has
Sure.
their own
Yeah,
chat,
yeah.
and that's
Absolutely.
you have to be invited into that. And
Yes.
this section, the Lehigh Valley Hospital chat has
Yeah.
that,
No.
like that kind of thing. It doesn't have to just be
Yeah.
inappropriate.
Right. No, I mean that's for kind of a non-Slack world.
Yeah.
You know, for those that really, because I mean, like, when is like you just said, like some hospital group going to get on Slack, right? It's still kind of more of a techie thing.
Yeah.
Although we've used Slack, and I think it's vastly overrated, but I see how why it's used by how it's like gotten popular, but yeah, like the private stuff is more like that stuff where you set up these private communities, and they can turn into ones where they're subscription based. So you could have a dating version of Jack's Singles, and it'd be a subscription business, but it'd be private. If you wanted to start a business on Relevnt that would do that.
By the way, did we mention that we're in Jacksonville, Florida right now?
Yeah, I think
Did we mention that? I don't know if we mentioned that.
This is the
We're in
furthest we've
Florida.
ever filmed a podcast.
Yeah.
from.
Furthest
This
down.
is the
next episode is
most
in Cuba.
DIY we've ever gotten.
But most people don't know where Jacksonville is.
Yeah.
Oh, you're near you're Tampa, right? Like, no, man. Oh, Miami, right? No, man. We're near Georgia. Okay.
Very close to Georgia.
We're 2 hours north of Orlando, yeah, which is where we've been.
I heard there's a beach around here.
I've heard things about beaches.
Many beaches, and we have great beaches up here. The beaches up here are the nicest in the state. I guess maybe excluding Daytona Beach, which has beautiful beaches, but culturally, they ought to just clean it off and start over. Can they start Daytona over? Okay, but beautiful waterway, gorgeous beaches.
Maybe Relevnt will do that.
Yeah, we'll just build a big headquarters down there. Buy the Daytona 500. All right, that's what we'll do.
I think
Sounds like a good plan.
my utopian idea of the future of social media and just online social networks is not having to use 16 different websites and apps to reach an audience or reach my audience and communicate. And it's not a sustainable model at all. It's annoying. It's so bogged down in all this bureaucracy that you have to go through. If there could just be one thing that could do it all.
And
Just talking to people is a
time-consuming.
problem somehow now.
Yeah.
There's so many apps. I don't
Right.
Like
It's
some people just don't look
oh,
at some
yeah.
app DMs and some people do.
Yeah, we have to.
So you could talk to someone
Yeah.
and you send them a message and they just never read it because I don't check that one.
They
No,
don't
they
know.
don't know.
They don't know how to
Yeah, which
LinkedIn
one
has
are they
gotten
checking?
really
Yeah.
bad. I mean, people on LinkedIn, and I even have a premium side there. I mean, people, they just shut down. And then half of the companies out there don't even have phone numbers anymore.
Yeah.
So it's hard to reach people. And then what you just said, it's there's 8 different there's 8 different social media icons, but you have to love the ones that have the Tumblr icon on it, or the Google Plus one, or
it's just
they haven't changed that one since 2013. They were on board then where there were 10 of them and they haven't gone back and touched them.
Yeah.
There's a section of Instagram, so when you go to Instagram direct messaging, if you send people messages and many of them don't reply, you get put in a spam folder. So that means that people have to accept your messages. But many people don't realize they've been sent a message or even open them to see that. So people are trying to send out messages, content creators to contact other people, other different platforms, and they're being spammed and sent straight to spam. Not because they are spam, but because people don't even know how to use their messaging systems to communicate with
And
people.
it's all different across all the platforms.
Yeah.
So if you know how to use it in one, then you have to learn all the others too to make sure.
Yeah.
And I think that if, which is why I keep calling Relevant a tool. I think it's a tool to aggregate and consolidate and I think fix a lot of the headaches that are present in social media and especially for content creators and people that have images that they have to juggle and all these different things they have to roll out. I mean, it's so much extra work than it needs to be, honestly.
And you have to go to a different platform for each thing. You want to go to Snapchat, and then that's like the couple second video that you're going to post, and then you go to Facebook, and that can be long posts, long word written posts with YouTube videos, and then you go to Instagram, and that's just very short little videos or a picture. And with Relevant, you can combine every single one of those and put every platform.
And then add all those 5 or 6 together, and then the punchline is, for what? Like, what are you getting out of it? Because all the money is going to YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. I mean, they're taking all of the money. So back to like the punchline with Relevant is, we're going to be this democratizing force that shows up and rebalances the distribution, not in a communist way, okay, but or like an anarchy way, but in a fair way where you're going to own your community, and once we get some scale, you'll be able to harvest like the advertising dollars that will be pushed your way, and we're not going to get involved in censoring. Okay, you're going to do what you're going to do, and let the market decide whether they want to listen to you or not. I mean, even though like as much as a total moron this guy Alex Jones was,
Absolutely.
all right, but it's okay. So what? I mean,
Twitter didn't have to ban him.
Let him talk, okay, and let the audience just decide. It's a free market. So we're starting to move away from free speech now. We really are. It's not good. It's like, nah, you can talk, but you can't, because we don't. We as Twitter saying we're deciding we don't like what you're saying. Okay.
Because the people who make the companies that run the websites or the social media, they get to decide what their rules are. And if they wanted to make a rule where it's like, if you own a cat, you can't use our website, they could just do that. There's no law that says they can't do that,
it's arbitrary.
They govern their own property.
You have a cat. Those that have cats can't have
it's just like
accounts on our network.
It's not great. It's not a very great. I don't know. It's weird. And I don't think that the censorship that we've seen as of late, especially, and like the Alex Jones thing, I don't think that's necessary. Because if people shouldn't listen to him, hopefully they'll decide not to listen to him. And you don't have to make them not listen to him.
But I mean, I know people that believe in the stuff that the guy says, which is amazing. I mean, it's just like you can't, and like they believe it. Okay, I'm like okay. And
that's their choice. And even if that platform itself blocked it, like Twitter blocked him, still there's going to be somebody else on that that's going to do the same thing.
It's not going to stop.
Move on to the next
it's not going to stop. There's another nut job that's going to pop out. So just you just gotta let the market, let the free market and free speech decide.
And I think Relevant is going to be really useful towards people that make the media and content creators, like journalists and people in the news and newscasters and people in sports and all those different types of things are really going to gravitate towards it, because you're not going to try to censor the content that they're creating.
No, and in fact, that's a good point. I mean, like most of your news sites out there today, they're centralized news sites. So like you have WJXT.com, like that's a centralized news site, local news in town. But on that site, there's news, metro, sports, weather, but it's still in one place, right? People don't want to go there because it's like too much stuff they don't care about. So all that needs to really be decentralized out, where you have like these communities that are like around certain fans on certain types of sports teams, or certain lifestyle stuff, or just hard news, or just politics, like Jack's politics. Like, just give me that. That's all I want. If I want Jack's dirt, where it's just the shootings and the car wrecks and the robberies and just, like all the down and dirty stuff, then put it there. And that's cool. There'll be a lot of people that want to follow like the blotter and like, who got busted. Great. Make it all there. But I'm a Jaguar fan. I just want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever, like, when you go into Spotify or Match.com or whatever different types of social media, you're like, all right, I want to go in here. I want to use this app. And they're like, excuse me, first, would you mind taking the next 75 minutes to say all the things you're interested in?
Oh, God.
Right now. And you're like,
Try next
I didn't
door.
know
It's
that I had to
brutal.
take the SATs just to download this app and to get it to work. And Relevant's not going to do that. It's over time going to pick up the things that you are relevant in.
You get to decide gradually. It's like, you know what? No, I think I would be interested in that. I'm gonna, you're not forced in. When you sign up for Twitter, it makes you follow like 60 accounts. Before.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
unless they stopped doing that recently, but I know
I think it's just hard not to do it. You have to bypass like 4 different.
Yeah, it's really
you
can
don't want to sign up for stuff,
but it's really they
connects
really
you
jam
with
it down. You're like,
every
follow
single
Justin
one of your
Bieber. You're like, I
contacts
don't.
Okay, yeah. So it just piles onto those.
Yeah.
We saw you said the
Then you're just gonna unfollow immediately. Yeah. But no, I think that there's the amount of potential, whether you're whether you're a content creator or someone who's just consuming content or just someone who wants something to do today, there's so much application for an app like this, and it's genuinely why I want people to realize that and start using it, because then I get to use it more because they're all using it, and then we can all benefit.
It's got to become a thing. No, we got to make it a thing.
Because I want to just have this
make it a
tool.
thing.
I also really like that you thought about, like, YouTube's running into problems because they just started a platform to share video and they didn't have a plan to really monetize it for the creators on it. And they've just been hitting, like, it feels like a new challenge every, like, couple of months where, like, something goes wrong and they have to, like, redo all their stuff for creators and the creators get hurt for it. But you're going, like, from the ground up, you have a plan to help out people who are making stuff for the thing, which wouldn't be popular without the content on it. So.
Right. Keeping them in mind first.
Yeah.
About, because they're the lifeblood, And that's what it seems like any other website fails to understand, is if you alienate those people who have built your site pretty much for you and brought everyone to it, you're going to kill whatever you have, because they're going to leave. They're not going to put up with it.
They're fighting with Logan Paul and Phil DeFranco, and
they're all
these other guys. I guess the guy that's kind of made it so good, I guess, like as Casey Neistat, he still seems
he's doing pretty well for
like
himself.
to toe the line with YouTube. But again, even when like he does his stuff, which is really good. I mean, he's really good at it. He's really good. But it's always about him. Just what it's like. It's about me. It's just it really is still about just me, and not about like talk about you. You know what I mean? But his stuff is very well done. There's no question.
Even talking about Relevant on a not so, if you were going to say shallow aspect of it, of how direct usage, like how useful it can be for people, like people in the medical community or people that can use it for like direct communities like that, or people that can use it for safety and security and comfort, like different communities can be set up within your own home community, knowing what's going on in your whole town. So it can be used for things that are like safe and knowing what's going on in your kid's school, like that the school district knows what's going on. Like those kind of things. It doesn't just have to be like, where am I going to go drinking tonight? What's going on with the sports in my school? It doesn't have to just be for like young kids. It can be for people of all ages and
so we have a healthcare channel. So, you have lots of people that have kids or whatnot, or someone has a disease. It could be Alzheimer's. It could be they're autistic, and like, they'll do anything to find out the latest, like what's going on with that, or a test, or people want to share and talk about it. And they can set those things up. And so all those things are like available for folks to do in like those categories. So like you're right, it's not just where's the party, it's where's the cure. Okay. Wow. So there you go.
So
it's a good line.
I think we're about out of time.
Right.
So so Relevant's out right now on iOS.
We're on iOS. We hope to be on Android, certainly by the end of the year. Let's just call it that since we're in December, but probably sooner, but that's a safe call. And, it has all the stuff we think it needs to light a good fire.
Download Relevant on the App Store. Absolutely. Definitely follow them on all social media. Relevant spelled RELEVNT. Got to spell it wrong to spell it right.
It's the cool way.
It's the cool way.
Always say that. It's just spelled the cool way.
If you have one parting, statement about Relevant, or even one reason everyone should be on Relevant, what would that be?
It's what you need to be doing today instead of something else.
All right. How you should be spending your time.
How you
We
should-
waste a lot of time on social media. If you're
Yeah.
going to waste your time.
Yeah, it's the best way to waste your time on your phone every day. Period. The end. Trust me, you're going to find it out. It will make you smarter, happier, and more connected. Wow. That's what you get out of it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your
All right,
time.
cool.
Thank you.
All right, let's rock and roll.
All right, let's do it.
And thanks you everyone for watching and listening. Support the Edit Podcast. We're signing out.
Slowly and everything.
Live from Jacksonville. See you later.
Saturday Night Live.
All right.
Live from Jacksonville. It's Saturday.
Another late night conversation. I watch the sunset, I watch the sunrise. Close the blinds. Through the good